Okay, I just ate. And I find myself in the position where I realize there's more to do in life. I don't want to say these things because after I've said them, I have to kind of stick with it. And I find that annoying. And that is probably something like that's a very valuable lesson that Seth Cohen, if just looking at the character, you actually learn something from, which is, if you say something, then you mean it. Right? He said to Summer, I just want to be friends, which is that he lied to her. He could have been completely open about his intentions, which would mean, you actually say to the woman, right, I don't want to be friends. Because that's what his goal was. He's just an idiot. And she's used to lying and cheating and kind of just being this despicable thing, because he has no stability. He's just a little child, like a little cub that has been raised by idiots. His mother is an idiot, his father is an idiot. That's the way I see them. And I mean, that's tough, right? But what it also is Seth's own problem, right? And if it's Seth's, right, problem, then, it has nothing to do with me. But everybody tries to pretend like he's different from the way that he says he is. Okay? So everybody's trying to whitewash themselves so that they can believe, oh wow, somebody exists who's a bit like me, right? It's like somebody exists who's a bit like me. Yeah, I can just speak from my own experience. And my own experience says, I don't think there's anybody like me. There's always a fair chance. Now I have a question. That's the problem now. I thought I could do this different. Maybe I have to check these things first. I thought I wouldn't have to trace all these lines anymore. And so right now I want to check. And I really don't care about whether my neighbors like me talking here or not, right? If you thought you would, just be able to sleep today, well, then maybe you didn't think somebody would talk for a long time. Hey, wait, what is this? This is not what I wanted to render. And why did it turn out in there? Jesus. So what I'm doing at the moment is, this has to go. Okay, first this. I just want to see what happens if I say threshold. You see? That's really stupid. Okay, I could do it like this, but now let's go in there. Okay. Which means I can do it like this. Okay. So it actually does work. But I also have to make sure that it's not just right? I also want it to look nice when I'm done with it. Right? And sure, there's probably a part in me that also likes to gossip. But the opinions that I actually have may still be different. Right? Just because I say something on the outside doesn't mean that I mean it on the inside. You know, sometimes you just have to set certain boundaries just to show people that you mean it when you say things. And so if you say somebody's a friend, then in which way could you honor that friendship? Well, you'll just have to be honest about everything. And that's a tough one. You know, I haven't really met anyone that's honest about everything. I mean, most people you meet, they aren't really honest about a lot of stuff. Yeah. Okay, so... Okay, I get it. Seth is determined to get Summer back, right? I mean, that's the position where we start from. Seth is determined to get Summer back. Now, he would be completely different than I would be at this stage. Actually, not really. I have kind of always been like this, that, you know, if a woman would lose interest in me, you know, I would just fall away. I would just fall away. Now you can say you're weak, or you could say you're just a softie. You know, I don't know. I like to see these things in a different way. You know, the way I see these things is pretty simple. I say, you know, I want a woman that's entirely sure that she wants me. And if she doesn't want me, then she'll be with someone else, which basically sets me free. Why does it set me free? It sets me free because I can just live my life, or learn to live my life, without a woman in there. Which means I learn to do exactly what I want to do, when I want to do it. So that when when I meet a woman and this woman is looking for a man, a husband, right? Somebody to provide for her and the child, then I could be in the position where I say, okay, but what you have to understand is, you know, I do like it a bit wild, you know, but I also like it a bit mild. I've got teeth, you know, and there may be a penguin hiding somewhere inside of me, but I have all kind of facets, you know? I like to switch my shapes, and I know there's other people that like to switch their shapes. And a lot of people, especially people that smoke, they're actually kind of shapeshifters. Because if you ingest smoke, it kind of turns you into smoke, and it makes you hard to catch. And that's then just the way it is, right? You know, you're just hard to catch. You know, that's kind of what it is. Does it really matter? I assume not. But I just like doing things in the way that I want to do it. And I can't help it. But I certainly don't want to be your prisoner. And this is when I say, okay, you know, I'm actually in the best position I could be in. If a woman has no interest in me, then to me it's like basically the easiest thing to simply say, you know, cheers. Right? Cheers. And that's just the truth. You know, from my perspective, it's just the truth. I have nothing to prove to you. I have nothing to prove to you or to anyone. You know, I've already done what you're trying to do before you even started doing it. So what am I supposed to say? Right? What am I supposed to say? You see, this is how you speak your emotions to someone else. I mean, you make up your mind how you feel, and I've made up my mind how I feel, like really made up my mind how I feel. And then I can, because I've trained talking, right, or expressing how I feel, I've trained it because what I learned was that in relationships with women, you know, they wanted me to say something, to explain myself, because they didn't understand what was happening to them, right? And so that's a difficult position to be in, because as soon as you open your mouth, right, somebody else might use what you say to have an argument. And I have started to become basically able to explain anything to anyone because I have very firm beliefs. I say, this is what I see, and this is how you make it look like, right? This is what I see, and this is what you turn it into. This is like, you stand left, you stand right, you realize there's a middle. And when somebody's trying to drag you to this other side so that they can have an argument, you just keep standing there like this and say, I don't know what kind of story you're trying to tell here, but this certainly is not what I'm seeing. Like, this is not the perspective that I have about what is going on. You know, this perspective you're trying to create here is that I've done wrong and you've done right. And that's just not what I see. You know, I see, you know, there's also me, and then there's you. And I've looked at it clearly, like really clearly. And that's then why my rational mind can actually help me to remain the observer and to just see with my third eye instead of with this this emotional because none of that is really real. It's just your emotions dumping shit on you. Which is why, you know, if I'm really afraid of someone, do I have to stay away? Because, you know, maybe I'm just supposed to be here and make my art. Because how can I support people if I don't have shit? I mean, do you think they want love or do you think they want money? You start spending time with people, you're a content creator, and people start showing up and they start spending time with you and they read your book. And suddenly they want to demand things from you. They want to manage you. They want to, I don't know, hone you into being the way they want you to be. And then you realize, but I'm not. And this is not why I started doing this. The reason I started doing this was because, I don't know, I felt like not just me, but there is a need. Jesus. There is a need for me to express what I see. And that's as simple as I can make it. And now I have the feeling people have started to develop some kind of greed. Like a real life greed for my content, right? People start to become greedy for it. And now it says, you sure about this? Well, I suppose. Okay, first of all, image, you know, this is a much faster approach now. Now I'm just gonna ship it all out. But I actually don't have that much stuff. But what I have is the ability to explain with words and all kinds of things, you know, what I've started to see. So I've learned to express truth, and it's probably as a token of my gratitude towards being alive, while at the same time I actually also think, you know, why am I still alive? Well, that's hard, no? Why am I still alive? I tried to change that. And if you got neighbors that have no problem to raise their shutters at 6 in the morning or 4 in the morning, you know, like really loud, then I don't have to be silent. Like if you're a klutz and you run around and you walk like this, I mean, you have no reason to complain about other people doing the same thing. And that's why if I realize, you know, I'm trying to be like super quiet, but there are some people who aren't as quiet, you know, if you want to be heard, you know, I'm going to make sure we're hearing each other, right? If you want to be heard, I'm going to make sure we're hearing each other, right? So I can talk to neighbors through the walls by just saying, hey, if you give me that, you know, I'm going to give it back. But I'm going to give it anyway because I think that's how you are. And I really think that nobody really just likes to hide all the time. Because if you just keep hiding, you know, you'll just feel like, I feel like kind of dead. And I have no problem anymore to simply speak the truth that I feel into the room, because everybody does it in their own way. And I just started to do it like straight out in the open. But there are sometimes people that are so sensitive that just speaking this kind of truth is actually, close to suicide. Because it's like, if you want to pop someone's bubble, what you have to realize is you don't know what they have inside their bubble. Or maybe they're like working really hard to keep the bubble from bursting. And then you come and you say, I'm just gonna burp your bubble. Right? I don't know how you've been raised. I can't really say a lot about how you've been raised or how people have been raised, or how anybody raises anyone. I kind of raised myself. I mean, okay, my parents raised me. I think we can kind of agree on that. But is it really this way? Yeah, I'm just gonna, I'm giving it all I got. Okay? I'm giving it all I got. You don't have the right to say anything about that. All you can do is, right, either look at what I'm doing or not look at it. I think the food I just ate was off. It was awful. Yeah, I just wrote something. So you have to give them something. You say, it was a challenge, but I'm glad I survived. Right? That's literally the only way you can deal with whatever this is. Right? You can't do much more than simply I feel sick. This food was not good. It has been off already and I still ate it. I just wanted to see what's gonna happen, and now I feel so sad. Now I feel so sad. You know, it's just the truth. You know, everything I do here is just the truth. And that's what people don't understand, you know. They think, oh, if I don't like his content, you know, he's gonna stop. You know, I don't care. I don't give a crap. And that's what you have to understand, that there are people out there, like Chris Webby, like me, who just do what they do because they love doing it. They don't care what you think. You know, they've seen death and they lived through it, right? And there was no ambulance involved in my experiences. These were things that were happening on the inside, sometimes with psychedelic substances, which I'm never advocating or I'm never advertising. I'm just saying people do them, and some people find liberation through them. You know, find liberation from all kinds of weird ideas that have been injected into you. Right? I'm just gonna call it share my peace, because, you know, I'm at peace. As long as you leave me to be here and just do what I want, you know, I'm the most peaceful guy that you can ever find. But if you try to stop me to do what I'm doing, you know, and I don't know what you are doing, right? What are you doing? You know, there are some people where I'm really uncertain about what are they really doing, because they never say. They're never open about it. I mean, I spend time with people where I'm not sure if I should call the police afterwards. Because suddenly, you know, they act all friendly and nice and they let me smoke with them or something like that. And suddenly they take out a knife and just flash it around, and you think, wait, was this guy supposed to be my friend now? I'm not so sure. But I think I have to go now, because exactly one of these friends is trying to make me realize that it's all in my head. That's why I say, you know, I choose friends that bring me closer to my fears, but they also make me shit my pants. But they set boundaries, and that's what we need. We need people that can teach these things. And there are some tough guys out there. And that's really the hard part about life, about anything at all. It's this place that you find yourself in where you are uncertain about certain people, where you are uncertain about certain events, where you are uncertain about, you know, who is to say what. All I can say to that is, well, I don't know anything. I meet people where I feel like I'm not sure if he's gonna stab me in the back. Now, if this is a metaphorical stab you in the back by just turning your back on you, or whether this is like, you know, he's actually gonna stab you in the back, you know, I don't know that. But there are people who've tested me in some ways. I mean, like really weird ways. You know, it's like, you meet a guy, you spend out sometimes in the park at night, and he's standing behind you, and he does something like this, and you turn around, he said, you know what this was? He says, it was a gun, and I was like, what the fuck, man? You're actually having a gun with you? And then he suddenly has all these knives, and I think, I mean, what am I supposed to do with you? You know, I don't know where to place you. You know, are you a suicidal maniac? You know, are you a mass murderer? You know, who are you in my life? Because I look pretty tough. If you look at me, I look pretty tough, but I'm a little child. And that's what some people forget. I'm a little child. And I've always been a little child, and I managed to preserve that. Wait, what did I call this? Truth? Reminder. And that's all you can say then. I mean, what else am I supposed to say? Right? Sometimes you just have to say no because, I don't know, you're too aggressive. I really feel like you want to kill me. Right? It's like, is that how you want to live your life? Afraid of other people? You know, I don't know. And I mean, you know, I really mean it. I don't know. Because I really don't know. I really do not know. I have no idea what's going on. Ever. Basically, all the time. Right? I have no idea what is going on. Where it's coming from. What's gonna happen with it. You know, and that includes myself. You know, I feel like emotional blobs that I would describe as other people. And then I see them as these emotional blobs. And then I think, what am I supposed to do? You know, how am I supposed to deal with you? Well, do you want friendship? You know, this is clearly called meet the thugs. You know, meet the thugs. Who are the thugs? I don't know, man. You know, I'm not a thug any more than anyone else. I just know that I'm not prone to violence. You know, maybe I do different violence. Maybe it's violent to some people. You see, I have a lot of respect from people that run around with knives. And I'm not sure what he's trying to teach me with this. Because what it teaches me is I actually want to stay away from you. Right? I mean, I just want to stay away from you. Because if you're like this, like, sorry, is that who you want to be? Okay. Or is that who you really are? To me, there's a difference. To me, there's a difference. Right? One is like I literally have no idea who people are. And that's a scary place. Right? There's a certain limit. You know, this is people I meet. This is people I've met. But the problem is, if you spend a lot of time with people who have dabbled too much with their spirit by, like, let's say, snorting coke, taking amphetamines, I don't know, doing whatever weird things, then you don't know. I mean, they may turn around and just end your life. Because what they do is they're waiting for a moment where you stop paying attention. And that's just a story that I have in my mind, but I still don't know, right? Because I thought we were friends, and then suddenly we weren't. And when you switch from that place of I think we were friends to that's the message. You have to take care of yourself, because whatever voices you think you're hearing, I mean, they have fun torturing you. They have fun torturing you. Like, they love torturing you, believe me. No, I can't help it. You don't like what I'm doing. I can't help it. But I can just do what I do. And then trust in myself. But I'm not the only one who thinks he's sitting on a pedestal. Right? There are more people. It's like everyone. Everyone thinks he's on his own pedestal. Like, I'm the best guy there is. And then you have to learn that everybody thinks that. Okay. Well, that was this one. The rest is gonna be at a later one. Different times. Cheers.